The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com. Welcome back to the Sports Renegades here on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Ryan Risky.
Right now we're going to go to the phone lines as Anubhav is on SportsTownChicago.com. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen?
It's going good.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well.
That's good. So, gentlemen, really quickly, we really want to say the Cubs right now, they're really hot right now, to say the least. But what I really find encouraging is they're doing it in every way. The defense is pretty good, and the hitting. Well, just can't say enough about hitting, really.
Right. I agree with that. I mean, the hitting has been so clutch this year.
It sure looks better right now than it did against the Phillies.
Yep, yeah. Against the Phillies, it was just really awful. I guess because you're playing against the worst team in the majors, and you're kind of underperforming really.
Yeah, agreed. And things were really, really looking bad in that series. We talked earlier in the show about that and how the season really turned around when Rizzo hit that 3-run homer against Milwaukee in the 8th inning of that Thursday night game in that 4-game series.
Right. Yeah, I think that was really the changer of all of this, and then now everything's been pretty much smooth, and can't wait for tomorrow's big series against the White Sox. Even though it might not have to do with the standings directly, but certainly, taking 2 out of 3 or even sweeping them in their park will be huge. It'll be really huge for this ball club.
Right. I mean, I don't think any Cubs fan cares about the Crosstown Cup. I think everyone will be happy if they take 2 of 3 from the Sox. If they sweep them and win the Cup, that's fine. Right now, we're focused on making the playoffs, where the White Sox are focused on being one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball.
Oh yeah, I agree with you 100% with that one. Now, really quickly, gentlemen, today the Bears. I know it's only preseason, but they'll be playing. What are your expectations really for this season for them?
Well, I mean, it's really interesting. Like, if Mark Trestman was still the head coach, I'd say if they won 5 games, they'd be lucky. Where really, I mean, it's a lot of the same players. It's a lot of the same roster. The few additions like Kevin White and Eddie Royal and Pernell McPhee, who I think is a great signing.
I think that's a great signing too.
They made smart signings, and it was a good draft pick in Kevin White, even though he might miss the entire preseason. I think that maybe 7 or 8 wins would be considered good for this team. Obviously, this is the type of season that the Bears actually would go out and win more games than expected. And really, a lot of that has to do with the coaching staff. You realize last year how important good coaching is when you watch the Bears give up 50 points every week.
Yeah. Really quickly to add to that, I feel like this time we got some competent, capable coaches that can actually coach this football team, and it'll be just interesting to see will Jay Cutler be improved, which I don't know if that's possible, but it's to be determined. But if he can be improved, that just goes to show how good Adam Gase is, and it'll be nice to keep him. But in all honesty, if Cutler does play really well, then the chances are Adam Gase might get a head coaching job next year.
Yeah, it's possible.
Right. Hopefully he doesn't get offered a head coaching job for the Bears' sake, and hopefully he does a good job. Except I think one thing that'll help, maybe with Cutler's attitude towards his coaches, that he actually has a respectable coaching staff and an offensive coordinator and head coach with big resumes. Because if you look at the coordinators in the past, Mark Trestman was hired from the CFL because he couldn't get a job in the NFL, and now we know why he didn't get one. Ron Turner just wasn't very good. Mike Martz, his offense that he ran was at the wrong time.
It's the reason why we lost Greg Olson, one of the best offensive tight ends.
Yeah, his system just came at the wrong time because it was like a quarterback-killing offense where they had no offensive line and Cutler had no one to throw to. Or Mike Tice, that was just terrible. He was the offensive line coach, and then they promoted him to offensive coordinator, which was just stupid. That didn't work out. Aaron Cromer, that didn't really that started out well. It didn't end well. So
No, it didn't end well at all. He's having a lot of issues.
yeah, he really is. I think Adam Gase will be. So I think I don't think that obviously it's a little late in Cutler's career for him to unlock his full potential. I think Adam Gase is going to find a way to limit the turnovers, and John Fox likes running the ball. They've got some pretty solid running backs in Jaquise Rogers and Matt Forte.
That's what I'm really interested
Kadeem
about.
Carey. They
too.
drafted, I think Jeremy Langford was their 4th-round pick, so they've got pretty good depth around the running back.
I think our running game now is a lot stronger because besides Forte, you have Jaquise Rogers, and you also drafted a couple good guys.
Right. They also might actually run the ball. Actually, I'm not. They might not. It's not that they might run the ball. They will run the ball a lot because John Fox likes doing that. It's one way to limit the turnovers, where the Bears were going down 14-0 in the first quarter, and Mark Trestman abandoned the run. And then,
Oh yeah. That one, oh god, that was just ugly. But now
that was a weekly basis.
I'm confident.
Right.
I'm confident that the run will be good, and we'll see where to go from there. I mean, if the run will be good, then I'm guessing Forte's value, not only just for his football team, but also for fantasy football, will be pretty big.
Right, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't expect him to catch 102 passes again. That's just unrealistic. I think maybe in between like 30 and 55 maybe is pretty. 35 and 55 is pretty realistic, which is really good for fantasy and for your team as well. And I think everyone expects the Bears to lose in Week 1, which I mean rightfully so when they play Green Bay. Except this is the kind of statement game for them. Like John Fox would really make a statement saying, "Hey, we're just done losing." The Bears are done losing to Green Bay all the time and getting manhandled. Like, I mean, that's the
coach has been able to do that. Really, I mean, Smith wasn't horrible at he beat the Packers early. But
at the beginning of his tenure, he was beating the Packers. I
think he swept them in 2005.
Yeah, when they traded for Cutler was when they stopped beating Green Bay. Which I mean, eventually Cutler's going to beat them. I mean, obviously, it doesn't help that Aaron Rodgers is running that team or that offense. I mean, I really think that's the kind of statement game to say, hey, the Bears aren't just a team that's rebuilding. We're still in a position to win. And, I mean, if they can win that game or maybe lose in, like, a really close fashion, I mean, that's a statement right there saying, hey, we're not the same team as last year. We don't have the same incompetent coaches. We have a good coaching staff that's getting a lot out of its players now.
Exactly, Ryan. You're absolutely right on the money because now, look, I had just hoped in my lifetime that there will be, not just in my lifetime, but in everyone's life, including both of you guys, that, one day Jay Cutler will seriously just beat Aaron Rodgers and beat him well. And I hope it, I don't know if it'll be this year, but I just hope it'll be soon.
All right, Anavav, thanks for calling in. Before we let you go, who are you taking in the first round tonight in our fantasy draft? Have you thought about that? You got the 7th pick of the first round.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that right now, but it'll be interesting. I will say this: it could be anyone in the running back position or wide receiver. Just don't know which one exactly.
All right, good luck in the draft tonight. I'll see you whenever we're all on. All right.
Sure.
All right, thanks for calling, Anubhav.
Well. Thank you.
All right.
That was my friend Anubhav calling in, giving some great insight, and did a very nice job getting us to transition into football. You're listening to the Sports Renegades here on SportsTownChicago.com.
The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.